everyone. Welcome to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Glad you can be with me today as we bring you the Gary Russen program. Stay right by your radio. We'll be right there with some great talk and conversation right here on GJRB Online on Spreaker. The Gary Russen program starts right after the news. The Gary Russen program, true news that's not in the mainstream. And leading off this afternoon's news is a big historic tiebreaker in the news. Vice President had a 50-50 split, the first time ever to happen in a cabinet nominee. The Vice President votes in the alternative for a nomination to be confirmed. This nomination's confirmation was for Betsy DeVos to be the private and head of support of private and charter schools.
The Vice President needed to break a 50-50 split, the first time that's ever happened for a cabinet nominee.
The Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the nomination is confirmed.
The Democrats mounted an all-nighter speaking in opposition to Betsy DeVos for about 24 straight hours, critical of DeVos's support for private and charter schools. 2 Republicans were no votes, setting up that 50-50 split in the Vice President's tie-breaking vote. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And Franklin Graham stated recently in a news story that talking with CBN News that Winnie Griffith is about speaking about President Trump's inauguration and what the president said to him about his daughter. Winnie Griffith is one of the favorite moments in the inauguration was as he stood at the podium before prayer, talked about it in the rain. Graham said, quote, "I started the rain as soon as Donald Trump stood and take the oath of office, and it rained as he was speaking, and as soon as he finished, he sat down and it quit raining." I thought the liberal media would say that it rained on his parade, but I thought no, what it was the Bible to say about rain. What does it say about rain? And it's a sign of blessing. We'll talk about that coming up a little later on. Chicago, Illinois had their share of surprises as they woke early morning to, wow, you wouldn't believe this. It was a huge meteor which soared over the Chicagoland area. Later on here on the Gary Russen program, I'm going to be asking anybody who might be listening if they saw this. It was called a bolide, which is one of the largest meteors to ever occur, measuring somewhere between 1 meter and 100 meters. Experts believe that meteor was most likely came from an asteroid. The bolide was a type of fireball, an object underlying its rock, and its atmosphere is so big that it makes a brilliant light. This story, and coming up next hour, we have a look at a story about a new cafe opening up called the Mayberry Cafe. We'll have that story and a whole lot more coming up throughout the day here on GJRB. I'm Gary J. Russen, GJRB, True News. It's that time again. Spring. A time when the weather gets warm and the flowers bloom, and GJRB is starting new programs and bringing back older ones that haven't been on for a while. It's the GJRB Spring Spectacular. All new programs and old ones returning, like Radioland, Gary J's Radio and Television Classics under a new name. Radio, television, and movie classics, featuring not just radio and television broadcast rarities, but also intermissions from drive-in movie theaters and indoor theaters too. Old movie trailers and movie trivia. The Spring Spectacular will also mean the return of the blues with Gary J's Blues House and country bluegrass with Bluegrass Jubilee. New additions to the Gary Russen program, including The Man on the Street, as I take my voice recorder to the streets of Clinton and ask people their opinions on what's going on in the news and lighter fun stuff. GJRB Spring Spectacular starts in April on GJRB. Yep, that's what it is. It's the Mayberry Cafe. Dedicated to the 1960s favorite show, The Andy Griffith Show. Viewers away from the carefree town of Mayberry, North Carolina every week. And of course, the show's 8th season. They got to know everyone in town, Sheriff Taylor and all that, but now it looks like Mayberry will be located anywhere in the United States, perhaps near your hometown. Fast forward 50 years, and the Indiana restaurant is striving to bring Mayberry to life by paying homage to the classic. Located 20 miles west of Indianapolis in Danville, it transports patrons to a fictional town with a homey decor, tasty soul food, and small-town ambiance. Founded in 1989 by Brad and Christine Bourne, the Mayberry Cafe welcomes diners to take a step back in time to home-cooked food, just like A&B would make. The restaurant is full of references of the Andy Griffith Show and its sitcom, including posters of Andy and Opie adorn the walls of this fine dining establishment. The patrons munch on menus like A&B's famous fried chicken. How about that? Gary Russen, GJRB, Tri News.
Watch, pray, for we not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, New World Order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pandemics, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, signs in the heavens. Keep up with world news and events you hear on GJRB's News on the Hour. Go to End Time Headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. With a lot of chaos happening, keep in touch with End Time Headlines and GJRB. Next news at the bottom of the hour. Get real news breaks. You're covered and informed. Now it's time for the Gary Russen program, discussing what's in the news, sports, and other things happening in the world. And now you can talk to Gary live at area code 563-613-4260. In a sea of lies and deception, this is the beacon of truth on internet radio. This is the Gary Russen program on GJRB.
And hello everyone, hello everywhere, across America and around the world. Welcome to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. How you doing, everyone? Hope you stick around. We got a great show lined up for you this afternoon here on GJRB Online. I haven't been on the air for a while, I know that. And we haven't had a show on for quite some time. Keep in mind, it's because, as I said earlier, we are off season, which means that our programs aren't on a strict schedule. It's kind of where we're just not on a strict schedule, which means all the programs aren't on a heavy schedule, which means they're not on as often as they are when we're on the heavy schedule. Okay, so this program is on the air whenever I get a chance to put it together. Now, average just shows on maybe every 2 weeks, depending on how things go and how I get things rigged up. But, it's every 2 weeks. And I plan it that way because then it gives me more time to get this program together. So I kind of work on it and plan it out and get everything ready to go for broadcast and get it everything together and plan it out and work on it and stuff. So that's just, that's one of the reasons. So I'm glad you could join us. Great land of ours, the Gary Russen program, the GJRB online, and it's just fabulous. The last time we were on the air was the day Trump got inaugurated, and now we're making America great again. I'm going to say that. We're making America great again. If you don't like it, turn me off. That's fine. I don't get much listeners anyway. I really don't care. But I just want to let you know that I do and stand up behind Trump, okay? Because I got to tell you, he just went the ground running. I mean, he's doing he's aside from all the politicians that have taken office, Trump is making good on his campaign promises. He's doing what he said he was going to do. Okay? He said he was going to put up that wall. He said that he was going to make sure that, that wall is going to be done. And he was going to make sure to keep terrorists out of this country. So then, I give him A grade for that. Because, see, he's keeping America safe. Okay? He's doing it. I don't care what anybody says, he's keeping America safe. He's keeping them out. The opposition's going to say otherwise. But that just speaks well of a man who really believes in this country. He loves this country. Obama hated America, people. Come on. Get with it. He hated America. He was going to make sure that America was going to, this is it. Okay? Obama will never be. I mean, people are going to say that they made him go down as the greatest, even though he really sucked as a president, okay? They got him down as the greatest. But he wasn't. Really, he wasn't. He wasn't that good. He might say he was, but he was not that good, people. Come on. This man, since he took office, has done more than Obama ever did. And he's doing it to keep America safe. I had this argument this past week. I'm going to go through, I'm going to have a scroll through social media coming up a little later on. And I had a little discussion, and it was with my sister Darcy, who, she hates Trump, and that's just all there is to it. She can't change her mind. He can't do anything to make it different. He's no good. He's worthless. It's all based on what he did to women. Okay? That's all it is. It's all based on that. Okay? It's all based on what he did to women. I get it. Okay? He was wrong in doing that. He was wrong with his disrespect towards women. Okay? That I'll tell you, I agree with it. But what he does for America, what does that have to do with it? Seriously, what does that have to do with it? That's what I'd like to know. We'll talk about that today. Also coming up, hey, this is free. This is still a freestyle show. I leave it open for you, and I will stop all my news. Remember, this is a news program now, so. Well, his ban on the refugees, like I said, he's protecting our country. Anyone who's refugees could be potential terrorists coming into this country to do us harm. These people have no need to travel. Come on, refugees. Stay home. You're not welcome here unless you have good intentions, which I doubt. You can pretend that you have good intentions, but when you get over here, whammo, one day we get attacked. Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau invited some of us up to Canada. Look what happened there. There was a terrorist attack. These refugees were invited. They did it. What a slap in the back. The bite to the hand that feeds them. Goes to show they're not civilized. Just like Simoleon, a refugee raped a woman at knife point in front of her children on a bus. No reason to be here except to do us harm. Our women and children. Like I said, I have an apology to make. Like I said before, Facebook, family, friends are not happy with my remarks. I make about liberals and protesters and so on. I'm sorry, I truly am. I'm working on this, but still people aggravate me to no end. Liberals are nothing but crybaby entitlement collectors who are losing their benefits and they are mad. Why? No reason. They're protesters. They paid anyway. They're paid anyway. They get their money they're getting their money. It's dirty money from George Soros. You see, it's George Soros who can't stand President Trump. I'm telling you, if President Trump were to be assassinated, the first blame, the first finger I'll point at will be George Soros. That's the first one that I'm going to definitely point my finger to. Because he is the one, ladies and gentlemen, that did this, okay? George Soros, ladies and gentlemen, he's the one guilty of this, folks. And, quite frankly, that's who I'm going to blame if he gets assassinated. George Soros. He's the one. He'll be the one. And also Madonna, because she threatened to blow up the White House. And last but not least, the protesters are just trying to destroy property, targeting bystanders now. If you have a car, and you're in the neighborhood where their destruction, they're gonna slice your tires. They're gonna destroy your car. They're gonna blow it up because that's what protesters do. They're big babies. They don't want what's going on, so they destroy property. That's what that's all about. We have to stop this unnecessary violence. It's ridiculous. There's no need for it. That's my dog in the background. There was a knock on the door, and apparently, I guess I had stuff coming, but I'm on the air right now. So quite frankly, I'm hoping my wife got the door, which I'm hoping she did. Anyway, the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. I hope you'll stick with me today when we'll talk about all this stuff. And get your opinion on it. You will have our lines open. This is a freestyle show today. Just having a lot of fun, having a blast talking to you here on GJRB Online on Spreaker. I'm glad you can be with me today here on GJRB Online and get a chance to be a part of the program and see who may be out there. And we're going to do that today. We're going to do a little bit of a scroll through social media, and we're going to see if there's people out there listening to today. And we'll do that. And we'll get a chance to join the program, so I hope you'll stay with me today here on GJRB and the Gary Russen program. I'm always glad to be a part of the show and just talking at you and just being here, just so much fun. So stay with me. The Gary Russen program. We'll be right back. I got some weather on. We got some weather news and various things like that. So stay with me. The Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. We'll be right back. Join Pastor Ron Johnston and a panel of men and women to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy. In this world of chaos and upheaval, this is the program that puts it all into perspective. How will we survive? God only knows. So trust Him and listen to the last 7 days.
Uploaded as a podcast or live
Every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central
on GJRB Online. It was the year World War II ended, and the troops came home, and the music was fabulous, with big hits from Perry Como, Judy Garland, and the Andrews Sisters. The year was 1945. Listen to the year in music on the next Swing Time. I'm Gary Russen, and I'll be featuring the biggest hits from that year, along with trivial information about the prices of items such as groceries, the news events, the culture of 1945 on the next Swing Time. Watch. Pray. For we not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, New World Order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pest, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions. End Time Headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. Endtimeheadlines.org.
This is Michael J. Martin, and you're listening to the Gary Russen program on GJRB.
This is Michael J. Martin, and you're listening to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online.
And you got me here, Gary Russen on GJRB. Yeah, of course I was playing your favorite numbers. It's a group called the Cal Seals, one of my favorites from the 60s. Indian Lake, love this song.
You take up the farm with the wood ride, and you keep on riding till you're riding.
Yeah, I like that one there then. Alright, okay, Indian Lake, Citizen Lake with your little one. Oh, yeah, you got me. Gary J. Russen on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Glad you can be with me today. And if you like bumper music, wait, got more coming up. Oh, yeah. Got a lot of them for you. I know you'll like them, too. Hollywood Argyle's coming up later. I know. I played a lot of that, the Gary J. in the afternoon there not too long ago. And I always enjoyed playing all those little songs, because they're fantabulous. And how's your weather been? Well, last night we had a thunderstorm here. Yeah, we had a thunderstorm. I mean, this is February, right? Last night we had a thunderstorm. Serious, I ain't joking. It went like this. Yeah. Last night, a thunderstorm in February. Jeez. I mean, it was like, what the heck? I almost forgot about my car windows. And I had to slap on my slip-on shoes, right? And then go outside and run to the car and shut my windows. Because, well, it wasn't only one, it was a driver's side window. But the matter of fact is that it would just get soaked inside that car, so I had to quickly go outside and shut the window. But it was lightning pretty good. It was a pretty good storm. I'll give you the weather coming up later. We'll have weather in the news. I don't really have much weather in the news except for anybody out there in Spreaker land on the internet. Anybody out there in Spreaker land, give me a call. Area code 563-613-4260 if you saw that meteor last night. Early morning hours, I think it came. It was something. It was brilliant. They said it was really brilliant. And I'm not sure exactly, but they say that was quite a show. Brilliant. And anybody out there see that, give me a call. Right now, though, let's take a look at our weather on the vine. It's time for that now. And there's some more severe thunderstorms expected today. For people listening in the Gulf Central region and the Ohio Valley, just ahead of a strong cold front coming in, the National Weather Service Prediction Center is forecasting an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms in the lower Mississippi Valley area. So if you're in the lower Mississippi Valley area, be aware of this. Central Gulf Coast states are also in this. Very large hail And I believe, where did I hear that? There was a breaking news just about an hour ago. There was a tornado, and where was that? I'll have to check my news headlines, but there was a tornado just recently, and I'll check into that next hour for my weather and the news. But yeah, there was a tornado already. So I'll keep tabs on that for you. But you guys in that area, you're in for some really nasty, bumpy weather. So please be careful.
Now join Pastor Ron Johnston and a panel of men and women to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy. In this world of chaos and upheaval, this is the program that puts it all into perspective. How will we survive? God only knows. So trust Him and listen to the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast or live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. We all run a busy schedule, and maybe we don't have time to catch the Gary Russen program. Well, here's the solution. The best of the Gary Russen program, highlighting the most memorable parts of recent shows. Each podcast I will play clips of previous shows and talk about them. Watch for podcast uploads during the GJRB's podcast weekend on GJRB's public site on Spreaker. Reflecting on the past memories of past shows. The best of the Gary Russen program on GJRB.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else. Hey, alright, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
The mainstream media is not telling you the truth. They have their own agenda. At GJRB, I have mine, telling you what's really going on with sources like End Time Headlines, InfoWars, Coast to Coast AM, and most importantly, CBN News, keeping you on top of what's happening at the top and bottom of each hour during the Gary Russen program. I'll give you the news and analysis of what I think with Gary J's News and Comment. Get the real news. True news. News that's not in the mainstream. On GJRB. And coming up in the next half hour of the Gary Russen program, I'm going to be opening up the chat lines, giving you a chance out there in Radio Land to talk about what's going on around the nation and around the world. So stick around. We're going to let you have the lines in as we continue the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Glad you could be with me today, and glad you could enjoy the program. Got a lot coming up. A lot more interesting things coming up too. So keep it here. GJRB Online on Spreaker. Spreaker Gone Pro, and this is the Gary Russen program on GJRB. Yeah. And from the news desk, here's some of the stories we're covering for you on the GJRB news desk. And it starts with the news coming up. Big news: Betsy DeVos confirmed as the Education Secretary. A huge meteor soaring over Chicago, and a lot of brilliance there. 84 Lumbers rejected the Super Bowl ad features a Wi-Fi. We'll talk about that one. And Vizio Smart TV, if you have one, be careful. 11 million viewers 24 hours a day are, without their consent, was recorded. We'll talk about that coming up next on GJRB at the top of the hour. Bomb at the top of the clock, keeping you on top. GJRB Online, True News. I'm Gary J. Russen at the GJRB News Desk.
And we'll have a complete roundup of all the news coming up on GJRB.
Whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, even bowling, it's covered on Gary J's sports page. I'll talk about what's going on in the world of sports all over the USA. We'll read you interesting articles about the players and even keep up with the scores of the games going on live. I'll even have guests from time to time and just talk sports. Better than any newspaper page, it comes alive. Gary J's sports page, alternating Saturdays at 2 o'clock.
One day, tuning around on your find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radio Land. A day of nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between. Like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radio Land.
If you're a new emerging artist and want your songs out there, the place to go is Reverb Nation. Reverb Nation, a website totally devoted to new music from new artists from every town and every state in the U.S. If you're a solo artist and recording your own music, it's Reverb Nation. Stop on by, visit, listen to the music, check out the site, www.reverbnation.com. Put your music out there and gain an audience. Go to Reverb Nation for the best in new music. And remember, if you like your songs played on GJRB Online is up and coming, drop me an email at GaryJ65@yahoo.com. And I'll be playing your song on all GJRB Online shows. Remember the name, Reverb Nation.
Watch. Pray. For you not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, New World Order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pandemics, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, signs in the heavens. Keep up with world news and events you hear on GJRB's News on the Hour. Go to End Time Headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. With a lot of chaos happening, keep in touch with End Time Headlines and GJRB. Watch. Pray. For we not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, New World Order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pest, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions. End Time Headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Hey, alright, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
Watch. Pray. For we not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, New World Order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pest, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions. End Time Headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Hey, alright, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
America's Street Music is back on GJRB Bluegrass with the Grass Goals, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, and so much more. So it's time to bring it back, and on more often. It's Bluegrass Jubilee Freestyle with all the great songs you heard before and some new up-and-coming stars with some emerging bluegrass. Also, some all-time gospel favorites too. Every third Saturday at 2 o'clock Central on GJRB.
All right, we're back. The Gary Russen program on GJRB online here on Spreaker. Glad you could be with me, and I hope you're enjoying the program wherever you may be listening. And yeah, every once in a while we'll just come on cold, and sometimes we'll have some music. It just matters, just as when I'm ready for something. But anyway, glad you could be aboard with me today. We got a great show lined up for you, and you have a chance to be part of the program. Yeah, that's simple. All you got to do is just kind of drop in there and, put your 2 cents worth in. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're listening out there in Spreaker land, all over the internet, you can be a part of the show. All you got to do is just pick up the phone, man. Yeah, that's all you got to do. And it's that simple. I got a cell here, a GJRB cell, area code 563-613-4260 if you want to get on there. Or you can just talk to me in the chat room. And that's available here on Spreaker. Right here I'm on the Spreaker web-based board right now. So all you do is just click in on that little fancy little balloon there, comic book balloon. And it's available on the on my widget, and when you do that, you can be a part of the show right here on GJRB, the Gary Russen program. And of course, I don't have Skype open because really, I don't get any calls on Skype. I really don't use it that much. I plan on maybe using it later on down the line for interviews, but I'm not really using Skype all that much because there hasn't been a need for it. And quite frankly, I forget to open it, but also, like I said, I don't get calls on it, so I'll use Skype if I were to get calls on it, decent calls, but otherwise, phone, chat, that's about it, and you can be in and out, I'll be doing the scroll through social media coming up. We'll do that. And remember, the Gary Russen program is a news talk program. And that means that we do that. News talk. That's what it's all about. Just, getting in there and getting you a chance to be part of the show. And it's a news talk program. And that's what I call it. That's what I consider it. And that's what it is. Call it what it is. News talk. And that's what the Gary Russen program is here at GJRB Online. This is where we bring it all together and talk about what's going on in the world of news and some sports coming up a little later on, and of course, weather. It was in Louisiana. I just caught that in a half-hour news break. Louisiana, they had like 3 tornadoes. It's like, wow, 3 of them, no joke. So they did some extensive damage, and they're saying that it was a, so I don't know, what was that, What did they say it was? Anyway, it was a strong one. So anybody listening to Louisiana, we're praying for you. That's terrible. Rough storm. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll keep you posted on what's going on with that. All right, tell you what we're going to do, too. Coming up, we got about 4 minutes, 51 seconds left in this first segment, so we're going to be taking a break, and then when we come back, I will talk to you about some things that are going on, and we'll do another news update, and we're going to leave it open for you because we're going to do some searching around the internet. We're going to see if there's anybody listening to our postings. We're going to click around and see who's out there. So we usually do that, take it around the social sites. We're going to do that, and it's just a fun time in the afternoon with the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker, and part where you can be part of the program. That's pretty much what that is. That's what it is. And if you have problems with my opinion on Donald Trump, if you don't like Donald Trump, call me. If you really think that he's not a good president, even though he's making good on some of his promises, but see, the people aren't liking what he's doing. See, that's all that is. They just don't like his motives. They don't like what he's doing. And Chuck Schumer, what do you think about this? I don't know too much about this Betsy DeVos. I really don't know that much about her. I didn't really do too much research on her. I just heard her name mentioned since yesterday. Let's see, I know. The first time I heard her name was, I believe, yesterday. I don't know who she is. I imagine she is a Republican, conservative, more than likely. She is being appointed as the as a school. I think she's when do they have that note here somewhere? Anyway, they appointed her as a council for schools or something. And Chuck Schumer yesterday, the liberal, the left wing nut, he says she's not qualified. This is brought to you by the same people who say Trump don't qualify. President of the United States. I've heard that before. Don't qualify. And well, yeah, maybe so, but come on now, people. I mean, let's get real about this. It's give them a chance, for heaven's sake. This is what I'm saying. Rush Limbaugh said it just today. Why don't we just sit down, relax, cool our jets a little bit, give Trump a chance to prove himself. Okay, this is what it means to time to really come on now. I mean, don't we have the right to do that? Trump has a right. It has a right. He has not been in office that long. He's only been in office with us today, not even a month yet, right? Because he took the oath of office on January 20th. So, like I said, that was the last time we did this show. So it's now the 7th. It's February 7th. So let's give this man a shot first before we go and sit down and judge the man. Okay, let's see what he can do here. He's already. I mean, they're just mad because he put that travel ban on some of those countries that have potential terrorists, being Syria, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia. Yeah, these are countries that are a threat to America. And all he was really doing was protecting our soil. That's what he's doing, and people are just up in arms over this thing. It's just, it's nuts. It really is. And we'll be talking about that throughout the afternoon here on the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Glad you could be aboard, and we've got more coming up on GJRB Online. Stick with me. Be right back.
GJRB is starting new programs and bringing back older ones that haven't been on for a while. It's the GJRB Spring Spectacular. All new programs and old ones returning, like Radioland, Gary J's Radio and Television Classics under a new name. Radio, television, and movie classics, featuring not just radio and television broadcast rarities, but also intermissions from drive-in movie theaters and indoor theaters too. Old movie trailers and movie trivia. The Spring Spectacular will also mean the return of the blues with Gary J's Blues House and country bluegrass with Bluegrass Jubilee. New additions to the Gary Russen program, including The Man on the Street, as I take my voice recorder to the streets of Clinton and ask people their opinions on what's going on in the news and lighter fun stuff. GJRB Spring Spectacular starts in April on GJ.